These are one of the reasons why. With a talented group of young players, the Phils are near the top of the National League East. The Giants return home after a 2-6 road trip, but finished the month of May 4.5 games back in the West. Giants-Phillies game 1 next. It's a beautiful night on the shores of San Francisco Bay at 24 Willie Mays Plaza, what Giants fans like to call the best address in baseball. The Giants and the Phillies open a 3-game series here tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow and Amy G. Welcome to Giants baseball. Real tough road trip. And you want to talk road trips? The last one was pretty tough, too, when they lost 4 in a row in Philadelphia against this young and vastly improved Phillies ball club. Tonight, Chris Stratton will try and get the Giants off on the right foot. Stratton has struggled a great deal after getting off to such a great start. However, he does lead the Giants. In fact, he's tied for second in the National League. In wins, he is 6-3.
He is 6-3. In fact, of the 11 starts that Stratton has had this year, the Giants as a team are 8-3 when he toes the rubber. The one thing that he needs to improve upon is his ERA in the first inning. Coming into tonight's ball game, his ERA in the first, 6.55. He'll have to be very, very good because Nick Pivetta, the young right-hander for the Phillies, is on a roll right now. His last 4 games, 3-1, but with a 1.13 ERA. He's been very good, and tonight, Chris Stratton has to be very good too.
It's the 1st of June. The Giants happy to be out of May, where a lot of things went wrong. Joe Panik on the 1st of June has returned to the lineup, and he'll be in the leadoff spot against Pivetta here tonight. The Giants and the Phils, game 1 of 3. Stay with us, and we'll be taking you to the NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update right after these messages.
This is a Sportsnet Central update with the Giants back home, which is good news because they have not played very well on the road, but at home at AT&T Park, they played very, very well. First game of a 3-game series with the Phillies starting in just moments inside our NBC Sports Bay Area studios. I'm Manfred. Rich Chirilli here to break it down. Rich, we got a few minutes here to discuss some key storylines for this game. The Giants are getting healthier. One of the guys we want to focus on right now is Joe Panik, coming back. Last played April 27th against the Dodgers, had thumb surgery. They got by without him, but what kind of a boost do you think this gives for the Giants?
You're getting a huge boost. You're getting a guy that's probably going to be the leadoff hitter from here on out. You got a guy who plays Gold Glove, second base. And listen, they got through it without him, with Kelby and Hansen out there, but defensively is where they really struggled without him. So to put another guy back in the middle of that field that has a Gold Glove to his name, it's just going to be a huge boost for this ball club.
And they need a boost because they're playing a team that they just absolutely did not play well against in Philadelphia. We're outscored 32-8, struck out a bunch of times versus them. How do they turn it around against a team that looks like is a lot better than they were just last year? Yeah,
well, the Phillies are ahead of their schedule to contend. They're having a really good season so far, and it's all based off of their young power pitchers. And I think the last time they faced the Phillies, all those strikeouts were based off of the power pitchers. So tonight, I think they need to, focus on, getting to those pitchers early in the count, jumping on those fastballs and being ready to hit right away. You don't want to see another series where they strike out 40 to 50 times. No. That's not going to do anybody any good.
No, prefer not to see that. Rich breaking it down here before the game. Also, Rich and Sean Estes will break it down after the game. We're over on NBC Sports Bay Area, full hour edition of Giants Sportsnet Central post-game edition. That's coming up after the game. We'll send you back to AT&T Park. Enjoy the first of three Phillies-Giants next.
Rough road trip, but they've got some home cooking in them, and they're ready to take on the Phillies for a 3-game series. Welcome back to our broadcast, everybody. I'm Amy Gutierrez. So turning that calendar page to June, maybe a little tough for Brandon Crawford. Why? Because his month of May, outstanding. We're going to make it our great play. It's brought to you by California Great America, the revolutionary new Railblazer, now open at California's Great America. Visit cagreatamerica.com. Crawford entered the month of May hitting 189. He ended the month, hitting .307, and for the month of May, he hit .412. It was the highest batting average in all of baseball. He now joins a pretty elite list of Giants. He's just the 6th to have 40 hits and 20 RBI in the month of May, and obviously being on any list with Willie Mays is a huge deal, and we feel pretty confident that Brandon Crawford will definitely be a candidate for May's National League Player of the Month. So what's he going to do in June? It's going to be fun to find out. Joe Panik is back in the lineup. Chris Stratton on the hill. John and Mike have the call. Game 1 coming up. Stay with us.
The 6-game homestand, as you see out beyond McCovey Cove. It's the Friday night beer can regatta, something that has been going on Friday nights during the summertime. The South Beach Marina, which is just beyond left field here at AT&T Park for a long time. The finish line of the beer can regatta is the entrance to McCovey Cove, and of course beyond the beer can regatta over there in the old Alameda Naval Air Station are the ships that are now part of a museum, including the Hornet, which is an old World War II era aircraft carrier. And if I gave the wrong name, because that might be the one that's over in just off of Manhattan in New York. Anyway, check it out over there if you have a chance. The Giants taking the field, and let's take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies batting order. It'll be Cesar Hernandez leading off at second base, a high on base percentage guy with a lot of speed. Scott Kingery, the rookie, at shortstop. Odubel Herrera, who's been among the league's leading hitters all year, hitting .313. And this season against the Giants, he's hitting .538. Carlos Santana, the veteran first baseman, former Cleveland Indian. It'll be Maikel Franco, powerful third baseman. Nick Williams hit a couple of home runs in LA earlier this week. He's in left field. Andrew Knapp is the switch hitting catcher. Dylan Cousins makes his first major league start, just up from the minor leagues yesterday. And Nick Pivetta, the pitcher, bats ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be their right-hander, Chris Stratton. Stratton, 27 years of age. He's in his second year at the big league level. 6'2", 210-pounder, former first-round pick. This is what he's done in 11 starts. 6-3 with an ERA of 4.97. The team is 8-3 in those 11 starts. You take your bats against him, you're going to see a fastball that's low 90s. And he has a curveball slider changeup combination to go with that fastball. When he's right, you'll see good command with the fastball on both sides of the plate. He'll use it a lot. And he has one of the better curveballs on this Giants staff. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Chris Stratton. Starting in the Giants outfield from left to right, it's going to be Williamson, Hernandez, and McCutcheon, best arm in left field. Pretty good arms across the board, actually. Crawford Longoria will patrol the left side of the infield. We welcome back Joe Panik. He's joined by Brandon Belt. They'll be on the right side of the infield. Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
And Cesar Hernandez ready to stand in to get this one started. Look at that on-base percentage for Hernandez, .379. Bluffs the bunt, takes a called strike. We are underway. The umpiring alignment, Ed Hickox behind the plate. The crew chief, Jerry Meals, first base. Chris Siegel at second. Gabe Morales is the third base umpire. 0-2 the count. And he tops it foul. Gets that sharp 79-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Fights it off.
Hickox, he's got a little bit different zone than what you normally see. I mean, he'll call lows and highs, and he's also got some width, but most of his width is down around the knees on both sides of the plate.
That is slashed foul right past third base coach Dusty Wathan.
And that was a mistake with that breaking ball too. 0-2 count. You do not want to hang a breaking ball up around the belt. Not to a guy who's got an on-base percentage over 400.
Now it's 1-2. Hernandez has also hit 7 home runs this year. So you have to respect the power, although you don't really think of him as a power guy. But he's on pace for 20-something home runs.
I think I believe I said his on base was over 400. It's 379, but anything over 375 for a leadoff hitter, that's exceptional. Teams covet that.
2-2, the count remains. The hitter's backdrop in center still lit up in the sunshine. All of the field except the extreme gap out there by the 421 sign in right center in the shadows of the late afternoon, early evening. And he fouls that one away. So he's been fighting it off here over and over again against Stratton. 2-2 the count. And this next pitch will be the 9th of the at bat with Kingery on deck. That got him looking. Strike 3 called.
Persistence and the payoff pitch. He goes back side of the plate with a little two-seam fastball. That's a good sign for the Giants. Good fastball command is a big part of Stratton's game, and that was a perfect fastball on a 2-strike count.
And that command has been sort of an on and off thing the last few starts ever since his wife gave birth to the couple's child.
Now, he said he made a mechanical change as Scott Kingery takes strike 1. And he basically picked up his pace a bit. He was a little too slow, a little too deliberate. He says he's the best size he's had in a while.
Just got a piece of that slider, and the count is 0-2. What do the Giants need him? He was off to a great start. He was pitching extremely well, and went home to Mississippi for the birth of the couple's child, and came back, made his next start against the Dodgers here, and he got roughed up, his worst start of the year, and it took him a while to find himself again. Taken up out of the zone by Kingery. Rookie, 24 years old. A bloop for a base hit. Went down after that curveball, and he dunks it into shallow center. Kingery out of the University of Arizona, second-round draft choice in the free agent draft just 3 years ago. Now the power comes up. Odubel Herrera to the plate. And Herrera with a .313 batting average. Tied for 6th in the league in batting average. And that curveball called a strike as he showed bunt. Got the high strike on that one from Ed Hickox. And Herrera seemed to think too high.
Anytime he bunts, he's doing you a favor. I mean, you don't normally see a lot of curveballs called up around the belt like that. I mean, you can see why Herrera a little concerned about it.
And a changeup. Just barely got a piece of it. Strike 2.
You look at Herrera get in the batter's box, and you know this guy's got a solid foundation. I mean, his legs are extremely strong. He gets down on a squat, and he's really got his legs spread out. It is not a comfortable position. I mean, if you're pitching against him, I mean, you might want to think about just taking a lot of time holding him in that position he puts himself in at the start of his swing. I mean, he spreads way out and he gets way down. I mean, this is a strong-legged hitter.
0-2 the count to him. Crawford. 1, 2, a double play. Well turned by Brandon Crawford to end the inning. A strong first for Stratton. Joe Panik will be coming up. AT&T Park on a beautiful night. Here's the Giants batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Joe Panik is back, and you hear the ovation from the crowd as he's introduced. Just off the disabled list today. Second base, Posey the catcher, McCutcheon in right. Belt hits cleanup at first. Longoria at third. Crawford, who had a great month of May, at short. Mac Williamson at left. Gorky Sadat is center. Chris Stratton hits ninth, the pitcher. Facing Nick Pivetta. And it's a little bit off the outside. Ball 1.
Pivetta, a big guy, John, 6'5", 210 pounds. Power arm.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Take a look at the numbers for Pivetta, 25 years old. He's in his second year at the big league level, and 11 starts, 4-3 with a 3.26 ERA. With a strikeout, 67 and 58 innings pitched. We'll see mid to high 90s with a fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup.
2-1.
And Pivetta has been red hot. Last 4 starts, 3-1 with a 1.13 ERA.
Three balls, 1 strike. He was a 4th-round draft choice by the Washington Nationals 5 years ago. And he was traded to the Phillies in the deal that sent the closer Jonathan Papelbon to the Nats just before the trading deadline in 2015. And that's a walk. Joe Panik is aboard.
Let's take a look at the Phillies defensively, starting in the outfield from left to right. It'll be Williams, Herrera, and Cousins. And you've got really good arms in left field and in center field. Kingery and Franco, they'll be on the left side of the infield. Hernandez and Santana on the right side. And Andrew Knapp, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Buster Posey, .299 average and a .370 on base percentage. Homered Tuesday in Colorado, his 3rd of the year. And that's back out of play. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball there from Pivetta. Pivetta is 6 feet 5 inches tall. He's 25 years old. Facing Buster here. He's out of Victoria, BC. He pitched 5 shutout innings against the Giants in Philly back on May the 9th. Curveball came back. He got the call on it. Strike 2, 0-2.
See the outing that Pivetta had against the Giants. Shut him out through 5 innings and 7 strikeouts.
Buster fouls it back. In that game, he was shutting him out, but the Giants did force him to throw a lot of pitches and got rid of him. And then they scored a run immediately when they went to the bullpen. But the Giants were already way behind by that time. They ended up losing that game 11-3, so he got the win. He threw 96 pitches in 5 innings. In the dirt, blocked by the catcher. Knapp keeps it in front of him.
One thing about Pivetta, I mean, he's pretty slow out of the stretch position. If you're a base stealer, you could definitely get a good jump. Plus, the Giants know that Andrew Knapp, the catcher for the Phillies, he does not have a strong arm. Close. Pivetta wanted that.
He's a little hot about that.
A little hot. You know, he could throw the same pitch right now and get it, though. This is right there on the outside corner.
Ooh.
He thought he had him. Good pitch right there. That could have gone either way.
2-2. And Buster went down to get that low breaking ball, and he was able to fight it off. Pivetta, whose given name is actually Nicholas Giancarlo Pivetta, from Victoria, BC, a member of the Canadian junior national team for several years. Went to junior college, though, down in New Mexico in the U.S. Played ball there. Into the hole. Base hit. Somehow that one found a place where no Philly could get it. So a single for Buster Posey.
The curveball, Posey just hooks it right through the 5.5 hole. I mean, that's a hit that you get when you're starting to get hot right there. Just past the glove of Scott Kingery. Hey, Pat Burrell's here.
He's really changed. 2 men on, nobody out. Nothing. Last of the first. The Giants with a threat here. Andrew McCutchen, the hitter. Phillies going to the overshift. 3 infielders move to the left side of second. Caught awkwardly there by Knapp. Ball 1.
Now, the way he caught that ball, I mean, you're not going to really get much help from an umpire.
McCutchen, 246 average, but a 357 on base percentage. Leads the club in walks. And he chased. 1 ball, 1 strike. McCutchen had a single in his 2 at-bats against Pivetta in Philly 3.5 weeks ago. 2 on, nobody out. And a high foul. Santana going down the line, and it falls. The right fielder, Cousins, got into the picture, but not close to the ball. And Santana had given up on it already. It's a little odd, that area, because the field level party area is out there, and then it goes. You can get beyond that, and then there's room to go catch a ball beyond that.
And don't forget the ball dude lurking in the shadows. That's Paul Robinson on the first base side tonight. See, if I'm a ball dude, you should be yelling for it. I got it, mine.
1-2 the count to McCutchen. Brandon Belt on deck. Now that could be 2. Kingery the second, 1, and not in time. Not hit that hard. And McCutchen has excellent speed. So Panic over to third base. Posey out at second. So first and third now with 1 out. And here comes Brandon Belt with Panic at third. Brandon Belt hitting .309 and a .404 on base percentage, a .954 OPS. Excellent first third of the season for Brandon Belt. Phillies going to the overshift. Only Franco remains on the left side, and he's near third base. Nobody at short. And there's ball 1. Giants with a great chance to jump ahead here in the first inning. Now Knapp out, flashing some signs. Who's he flashing signs to there?
It's probably just flashing a sign is to tell the middle infielders that he's either going to throw through or he's going to have an arm fake. Should McCutchen try to steal?
95 miles an hour, blew it by him.
I mean, you don't have great speed. You get a little bit better than average speed with Panic, but he gets a good jump at third. As we mentioned, Knapp does not have a strong arm. So he's going out there and he's just giving a signal to the middle infielders as to what he's going to do with the throw, should he decide to throw if McCutchen goes.
Called strike 2. Well, the third baseman is in the vicinity of third base, Franco, but he's not close to 30. He's what, 20, 25 feet off the line. So Panic could get a good jump if McCutchen did take off for second. 1-2 the count. And McCutchen is back to the bag. McCutchen has 4 steals in 5 tries this year.
You know, with all the extreme defenses that you have seen around baseball the last several years, it really does wreak havoc with the conventional bunt plays.
Well, he just kept pounding hard stuff, and Belt could not catch up to any of them.
First strikeout for Pivetta. Just a high hard one right across the belt. That's the one swing and miss that you really have a conversation with yourself as you're heading back to the dugout. Especially in a situation with a runner at third and less than 2 outs.
So Longoria now. Base hit right through the wide open right side. Cousins hustling over. Panic in to score. The Giants have a 1-0 lead, the 31st RBI of the year for Evan Longoria.
Well, and he just picked up Brandon Belt. And it looked to me like he went up there with that in mind. The way that they set the defense, they opened up the right side. He gets a fastball inside out. You can see the hole on the right side, and there's the reward. You play him straight up, that's an out, inning over.
So it truly appeared as if he were trying to do what he just did, to take advantage of that big hole. So here is Brandon Crawford after his red-hot month of May. Voting taking place all around baseball today for the awards for the players of the month. So we saw all the numbers. Brandon Crawford matched up with anybody in terms of how he did in his overall offensive prowess in the month. Hitting .307 overall for the year. They've got the overshift on for him. And the count goes to 2-0. By the Numbers is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. National League Player of the Month candidates for May: Brandon Crawford and Scooter Gennett is the other name that kind of jumped out at you. I think they are the top 2 candidates, and you can compare their numbers for the month. And that's ball 3 with Mac Williamson on deck. Gennett had more home runs, fewer hits, and not as high an on-base percentage, not as high a batting average. So we'll see how the voting turns out. On the outer third for a called strike. 3-1.
Taken all the way.
Nobody at shortstop. Franco backed up in the vicinity of third base. There you see him. Nobody at short. And the second baseman, Hernandez, is well out into right field. McCutcheon at second. Longoria at first. Got it by him. 3-2.
That's a nice 2-pitch sequence. A 3-0 fastball at the knees on the outside corner. Then he comes up with a fastball right above the hands, inside corner. Now you know that Crawford's looking for a fastball, and he's looking middle in. He still could not get his hands on top of that one.
The runners will be set free to take off here. They go. And a high pop foul back out of play.
I always thought when you had a really hot month like Crawford had the month of May, June 1st becomes a big day. You want to see if this streak's going to keep going. I mean, baseball players, some can be a bit superstitious month to month.
Well, Crawford had 2 more hits in the final Giants game in the month of May, just to top it off. Runners go. Right center field, but Cousins is there. And he hit that one very hard. And Cousins was playing him to cover up that gap. 1-0 Giants. And we are joined here in our broadcast booth at AT&T Park by Michael Milken, who is a cancer survivor, prostate cancer survivor, and who has the foundation, the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And for the 23rd year, as Stratton throws a called strike to Carlos Santana, Major League Baseball and the Prostate Cancer Foundation are partnering in the Home Run Challenge. So, Michael, tell us exactly what that is and how the fans can get involved with that.
Every home run hit starting today through Father's Day, June 17th, people call in, pledge money for home runs hit. And if you pledge $1, we think we'll have 500 this year. That would be $500. If you pledge 10, it'd be 5,000. And we've raised $50 million from this program with Major League Baseball and, of course, the San Francisco Giants.
And that $50 million is to support cancer research and awareness to fight prostate cancer in particular.
And for every dollar we've raised, we've got matches for 10, so that turned into $500 million.
Wow. And there's a ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But a lot more important, there's about 1.4 million men alive today that people had predicted wouldn't be here, going to spend Father's Day with their families.
That is over the middle, and Crawford. And that's all for Santana. 1 away.
Crawford's had quite a month of May. You know.
Well, we think he should be the player of the month.
42 hits in 1 month. It's kind of amazing.
He's got a little competition with Scooter Gennett with the Reds, but it's pretty unanimous in our booth. We think Crawford should be the guy that was the player of the month.
You know, as we were scouting all the teams, since we're going to see them all play, the Giants have the 3rd highest batting average in the National League. I was really quite surprised by that.
Michael Franco, the hitter, and he takes ball 1 from Stratton. Michael Milken is with us from the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And I know in the past you've given us some advice in terms of sort of preventive maintenance, guarding against prostate cancer. The ball is caught in right center by McCutcheon, and Franco is retired. 2 down.
Well, what we do know today is nutrition is an important element, and you quite possibly can slow the growth or put it into suspended animation. So between 8 new drugs approved, life expectancy now for anyone diagnosed with prostate cancer, advanced or not, is 99% of men for at least 5 years.
Wow.
And the death rate has fallen by 52% since we started coming to Giants games and reminding people to go to homerunchallenge.org and remind you to get that simple blood test for prostate cancer.
1 strike to Nick Williams, and that is just foul on the third base side. So you need to get checked for it.
A simple blood test, and we found there's this super broccoli strain in northern England that has such a large amount of a sulfate that it looks like it can put prostate cancer into suspended animation.
Well, there's that great curveball from Stratton. So the place to go is homerunchallenge.org. Pledge a donation and make sure Dad gets checked for prostate cancer.
And keep him in the game.
Giants Day, obviously Joe Panic back in just before the game. Gentleman, Mark Melanson has been reinstated. And how about a Madison Bumgarner update? He is on track to join the team on Tuesday. He's had 2 rehab starts back on May 26th with the AAA Sacramento River Cats. He went 3 2/3 innings, gave up no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts on 47 pitches. And on Thursday with San Jose, 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits. He gave up 1 run, no walks, 7 punch-outs on 74 pitches. Bruce Bochy said he is ready to come back. All the pieces are coming back together, gentlemen.
Tuesday. Thanks, Amy. Amy G with the update on Madison Bumgarner. And there's ball 1 too high on the inside to Mac Williamson. Bumgarner at the ballpark tonight.
See, if I'm down in the minor leagues and Madison Bumgarner comes onto my team when I'm an A-ball.
You're excited?
Well, I'm excited, but then I take a look at the guy and I'm thinking, well, if that's what you have to look like to be a big league pitcher, I'm not going. I mean, he's 6'4", 250, and I mean, he is just built for innings.
3-0 from Pivetta to Mac Williamson, who is hitting .286. 3 home runs in 42 major league at bats. So Bumgarner threw what 74 pitches, 75 pitches last night. And Bruce Bochy expects that he should be ready to go, maybe 85, 90 pitches on Tuesday in his major league debut here for 2018 against the D-backs. 3-1 and a foul. The Giants, Joe Paddock was activated from the disabled list today, as was Mark Melanson. Kelby Tomlinson was optioned to San Jose, at least for the next couple of days. Tyler Beatty, after the game Wednesday, had been optioned to Sacramento. And there's ball 4 to Williamson. So the second walk issued by Pivetta, and the Giants, for the second inning in a row, get their leadoff man aboard. And now Gorkis Hernandez will come up. The Giants ahead 1-0. Also, there was some bookkeeping because, as you see, Gabe Kapler, the new manager of the Phillies this year. The Giants, Mark Melanson, was on the 60-day disabled list, which takes him off the 40-man roster, and to get him back on the 40-man roster and then subsequently onto the 25-man active roster, they had to make a move there. So Jose Valdez, who had been on the disabled list, was activated and then DFA'd, designated for assignment. Do you get it?
Oh, yeah.
300 batting average for Gorkis. And it's 0-2. That ball was there when he started to swing at it, and suddenly it was no longer there. Gorkis had a 2-hit game Monday in Colorado. Had hits his first 2 at bats and none since. He's gone 0 for his last 10. High fastball, and Knapp came up ready to throw, but Williamson was not taking liberties. 1-0, the Giants ahead, second inning. By the way, Michael Milken was with us, and it's the homerunchallenge.org if you'd like to pledge a donation. And a bouncer foul over towards Stratton, who's on deck. And you would be pledging a donation for every home run hit in the major leagues between today and Father's Day, June 17th. Or you could choose to make a one-time donation. The Home Run Challenge has raised nearly $50 million for breakthroughs in scientific research and has highlighted the benefits of early detection of prostate cancer to the general public. This is the 23rd year Major League Baseball has partnered with the Prostate Cancer Foundation. And that is strike 3 called to Gorkis.
Time now for our Jeep play of the game. It's brought to you by the new 2019 Jeep Cherokee. Wednesday against the Rockies, Gorkis Hernandez not only doing it with a bat, but he's also doing it with a glove. This one, he robbed Carlos Gonzalez, and it was out number 3, and it ended things for the Rockies in the 5th inning. That's our Jeep play of the game.
Stratton bunts it foul. 1 out, Williamson at first. 2 strikeouts now for Pivetta. Bruce Bochy called that catch the other night as the key play of the game.
Certainly was. I think Derek Holland, the starting pitcher who was on the mound, would say the same thing.
On 1 the count. And the play will go to first with Hernandez, the second baseman, covering. So Williamson has been moved up. Pitcher to the second baseman covering for the putout. 2 down.
Yeah, that's a job well done from Chris Stratton. I mean, that was really a problem for him, he's really been putting a lot of extra time in now. His form is perfect. Look at the bend of the knee, the bat at the top of the strike zone, and he waited for the ball to get to the bat. He didn't jab at it. Try and catch it off the bat. Ideally hit it as close to the end of the bat as you can to deaden the ball. But from Stratton's perspective, that's a great effort. Big improvement.
Now Joe Panic to try and knock in a run. Phillies, not the whole overshift. The shortstop Kingery is almost up the middle, but still to the left of second. The second baseman Hernandez is well out into the outfield. 1-0. The Giants ahead. The runner in scoring position though. Out of play.
Joe Panic, when he went on the disabled list, he hurt his left hand, his glove hand, and had a ligament detached from the bone. He had to have it repaired surgically. I asked him when he was coming back, are you afraid of getting jammed? Oh, you've had a hand injury. You don't want to get jammed. He goes, it made me a better hitter because I do not want to get jammed.
A ball and a strike. And back out of play. April 27th was the play you're talking about, Mike.
Well, it was a tag play, and Yasiel Puig comes in. It looked pretty benign when we first saw it. There wasn't anything malicious on Puig's part. But as soon as he hit, I mean, he showed some discomfort. And it turned out, the ligament was completely separated from the bone. They had to pin it. But when he was starting to work his way back, I mean, he really made an effort to try and hit the ball in the sweet spot of the back, because he didn't want to have a ball hit him right around the label, because that would be painful.
Blocked by Knapp. Sharp breaking ball in the dirt. 2-2 the count.
Take a look at Andrew Knapp. Ball down in the dirt. You know that big curveball, he wants to try and bounce it on home plate in a 1-2 count. I mean, that's a perfect pitch.
Buster Posey on deck. Williamson ready to take off at the crack of the bat from second. And the fastball at 96 miles an hour. Back into the crowd off the left field side. So Joe Panic missed the entire month of May and is playing only in his 24th game of the year right now. He started the season beautifully, homering in each of the Giants' first 2 games, each of which became a 1-0 win in LA. And that will go foul into the third row along the left field line. 2-2.
A lot of gloves down there. Pretty standard for AT&T Park. That leads the major leagues in fans bringing their gloves to a baseball game.
Two and two the count. And he lays off. Hard, tight spin on that breaking ball, but in the dirt. Keeps trying to make him chase one of those, and he just won't do it. Here's Posey on deck. Nick Pivetta. Here's Williamson ready to take off from second. Base hit to right. Williamson does take off, and he'll score easily. Great gritty at bat by Joe Panic in his first game back, and it's 2-0 Giants.
Great at bat for a lot of reasons. I mean, number one, he saw a lot of pitches. Number two, it's a 2-strike, 2-out RBI base hit, which always seems to be the best kind, and he just keep cranking up the pitch count on Pivetta. There you see the balanced, no stride approach from Joe Panic. A solid bullet. 2-out jump for Mac Williamson. He gets that big 6'4", 250-pound frame going. He can fly.
Now Buster Posey. Strike one. Buster got a single that just squeezed through the left side of the infield, fueling that first inning rally in which the Giants scored a run. Buster hitting .304 for the season now. High and foul. Santana comes over, but just not enough room to go get it into that party area. Tomorrow, a 7:05 start, an unusual starting time. Not that it never happens, but it's not the norm. Andrew Suarez will go for the Giants against Vince Velasquez. 7:05 tomorrow. Day game on Sunday at 1:05. Back to the screen.
And you're flirting with danger when you try and buzz Buster Posey across the letter with a high fastball. I mean, that's playing his strength. Pavetta's, I mean, he's proud of his fastball, understandably. Plus, he's been red hot. Last 4 starts, 3-1, 1.13 ERA in those last 4 games.
There goes Panic. Buster fouls another one back. Another fastball. Panic will turn around and go back to first.
Well, when Andrew Knapp, the catcher for the Phillies, was given the sign, he was almost standing up.
That was a curveball, and that was a nasty pitch. Buster hits into a force play to win the inning. Giants had a run. They lead 2-0. Stratton will head back out for the 3rd. A's night at the ballpark, and the first 20,000 fans attending will receive a retro fanny pack plus an all-day rides ticket courtesy of Coca-Cola and the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Enjoy summer baseball. The Giants take on the Phillies. 7:05 tomorrow. Tickets always available at sfgiants.com. Pablo Sandoval is now in the game at first base, so we'll try and get word from the Giants clubhouse, but something seems to be wrong with Brandon Belt. So he's out of the game after 1 at bat and 2 innings. Here's Knapp, the catcher, switch hitter, batting left-handed. Ball 1 too low from Chris Stratton. Giants with a run in each of the first 2 innings. That's in there for a strike, and in a sign that things may be looking up here in the month of June. Each of those 2 runs knocked in with a clutch 2-out RBI hit. Getting that runner in scoring position and scoring him. It was Longoria, the 2-out single in the first to knock in Panic, and then Panic with 2 down knocked in Williamson with a single in the second. Dylan Cousins is on deck. 3-1 the count now. Stratton helped set up the Giants' second run too, but laying down a sacrifice bunt. So he played his part in the offense. That's how the runner got into scoring position. Into the defense in right field, Joe Panic, and that's all for Knapp.
Giants baseball is brought to you by Toyota, designed for the grind and comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer for a great deal on a dependable new ride. Toyota, let's go places.
The Giants, after a long road trip and a tough road trip, we're happy to be going home. Crawford, no. That's through, base hit. So Dylan Cousins, in his first major league at bat, gets a base hit through the defense.
He's a big fella. Cousins, 6'6", 245 pounds, with lots of power. And now he's got himself a big league knock and a batting average.
So in his first major league at bat, his first major league hit.
This is our first look at Cousins, and the Phillies say that he's got good speed, especially for a guy his size. I mean, you think a guy's 6'6", 245, you're not thinking they're going to blaze the base pass.
Pivetta showing bunt. He gets it down. Pablo will just go over and tag him out. Pivetta thought maybe he could just speed right by Pablo there.
It's like rookies.
Oh, you think I'm just going to run into that out? Don't you know how fast I am?
The only time you get it out without making a throw, you do it. But what Nick Pivetta will learn as he ages is that you kind of save that energy.
So now Cousins is in scoring position. Cesar Hernandez, the leadoff man, struck out looking his first time. Wow, looked like Buster got crossed up on that one.
Catchers don't like to get crossed up, period. But if you're going to get crossed up, you want to be looking fastball and getting a breaking ball. When you're looking for a breaking ball, as Posey was, and you get a fastball, that's how you can hurt a catcher. He's thinking breaking ball all the way. And boy, you just have to get lucky. So you use up a mound visit when you go out there. You kind of have to bite your tongue because you're mad. As a catcher, you're mad. Because the catchers aren't the guys getting crossed up. They're the ones giving the signs. And it happens to every pitcher sooner or later. I mean, but you try and minimize it if you can, because you do not want to subject your catcher to an injury that you cause.
It's 1 ball and no strikes to Hernandez. Now 2-0. Kingery is on deck. The Dodgers are playing in Colorado tonight on the out-of-town scoreboard, and they lead 8-6 in the top of the 6th inning at Coors Field. Dodgers have been playing fairly well lately. They just finished a long homestand, went 6-4. Although they lost the last 2 games of their series to the Phillies, including yesterday, a 2-1 loss. And one of the Phillies' runs in that game scored Maikel Franco, and he scored a run on which he never touched home plate. And it wasn't close. He missed home plate by at least a foot. That's in for a strike. 3-1 now. He was at second base and a single to center, and the throw came in as he tried to score. He came in standing up, and the ball was not handled cleanly by Grandal at the plate, and that is ball 4. And let's take a look. This is the play yesterday at Dodger Stadium. Franco at second, and just keep an eye on him here And watch his feet as he comes to the plate.
Well, yeah, you have to touch home plate.
He got tagged, but there was no ball in the glove. Now watch this. Now, that's not close.
Come on.
The Dodgers did not ask for a replay review.
Well, somebody ought to be questioned, fined, and suspended for about 4 months.
Kingery, the rookie, and that's a called strike. 2 on, 2 out for the Phillies here in the third. The Giants ahead 2-0. Now that's a big play considering the final score was 2-1.
That's crazy.
Grandal said he asked the umpire. You know, he picked the ball up that was on the ground. He said, "Did he touch home plate?" The umpire said, "Oh yeah, yeah." So he just tossed the ball back to the pitcher and went back into the crouch. I told the story to Bruce Bochy, and he said, "Well, when you're in the dugouts at Dodgers, you can't tell if he touches home plate or not." So Bochy's question was, how come the video room for the Dodgers didn't call the dugout to alert him? That never happened.
He was in the bathroom. That's all I could think of.
So for his part, Michael Franco, who knew that he was such a good actor? Because nobody knew better than he did that he didn't even come close to touching home plate. But he thought, I'll just put my head down and run right back to the dugout like it's no question that I touched it. And it worked. Who knew that that would actually work?
That's unbelievable.
1-2 now. 93 miles an hour with that fastball.
Little cut action. That's what you're talking about from the dugout, where you can't see home plate. I mean, that's the view that you get if you're the visiting manager. Still, somebody in the video room's got to raise their hand, send up a flare or something.
And that's almost exactly the view that Bruce Bochy would have when he's at Dodger Stadium. Now it's 2-2. Fastball off the outside. Kingery singled his first time on a curveball. Phillies with a threat. 2 on, 2 out. The outfield is pretty much straight away. And out of play off to the right. Staying with the fastball here.
Well, he's putting his fastballs in good locations. I mean, he hasn't made mistakes with that fastball out of the middle of the plate. That had been the problem. Mechanically, he was a little bit out of whack, and it really affected his fastball command. It also put a little hump in his curveball. Well, when he just increased the rhythm, picked up the pace a bit, got himself in a better arm slot, and everything started to fall into place. The hump came out of the curveball. The command came back to the fastball.
And there is the curveball for the strikeout. 2 men left. McCutchen, side the ball. Longoria coming up.
a very big day, the annual Junior Giants Glove Drive. That's right, you need to go dig out your leather out of your closet and bring it to the game. If you are coming, you're going to help so many kids. This is an unbelievable stat, gentlemen. Over 12,000 kids who play in the Junior Giants leagues do not own their own glove, and everybody has a chance to help. It's presented by Bank of America. Bring a glove, or you can make a $10 donation and you get a 60th anniversary pen. It's really cool. Or if you can't come to the game, you can still help. Make a donation at jrgiants.org and you're going to receive a Buster Posey bobblehead. So lots of ways to help. Big day, gentlemen.
All right, Amy, thank you. That's tomorrow. McCutcheon to right field. Cousins, plenty of room. One away. McCutcheon is 0 for 2. Grounded out into a force play his first time. Now Pablo Sandoval in the spot where Brandon Belt had started the game. He'll come up. We have not received word from the Giants clubhouse as to what happened with Brandon Belt, why he left the game. In there for a strike from Pivetta to Pablo. Pablo is hitting .263. 2 homers, 15 batted in. .326 on base average. A ball and a strike. Arizona hosting Miami and leading 8-0. D-backs, they were 8-19 in the month of May. They were so hot in April. And it was rather astonishing how poorly they finished in May. They were 20-8 at the end of April. And almost completely opposite of that in May. 2-2.
You're right. I mean, they look like one of the strongest teams, not only in the National League West, but in all baseball.
At 110, they lost 15 out of 17. And they're not hitting. For the most part, they have not been hitting at all, but they are tonight. Pablo, he got one of those sweeping curveballs that came closer to hitting him than it was to the strike zone.
You're right. If he doesn't hit it, it probably hits him on the knee.
Two and two. Well, another breaking ball way down and in, and Pablo is gone. 2 down.
Well, if you need help with a consumer problem, contact NBC Bay Area Response or Telemundo 48 Responde. They've recovered more than $1.5 million for Bay Area consumers. Call 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/response. Whether in English or Spanish, they respond to every call, every email. NBC Bay Area, we investigate.
And a called strike to Longoria. They've got the overshift on for Longoria again. He defeated it, hitting a line drive right through the vacant second base position to knock in the first run for the Giants. They lead 2-0. On the run, Odubel Herrera and Cousins. And wisely, Herrera, who's 5'11", stays out of Cousins' way. Cousins, who outweighs him by about 80 pounds. That's the inning. Great Clips wants you to love your haircut. That's why they created Clip Notes. Notes that tell them what you like, so you get your same great haircut every time, anywhere. It's Great Clips, and it's going to be great. Odubel, all of a sudden, all I see is everybody's haircut.
Yeah, it's like I need to start letting my hair grow.
The first guy we saw in the Giants dugout, Derek Rodriguez, who made his debut the other night in Colorado. He's going to start the game here on Sunday in the day game. They liked what they saw from him in that game.
Well, they should. He was very good with his arm and with the bat.
2-0 to Odubel Herrera, who grounded into an inning-ending double play in the first. He'll be followed by the cleanup man, Carlos Santana, and then Michael Franco. Stratton has allowed 2 hits, and that's a strike on the outside. That's something you talked about in the very first inning, Mike, that all of a sudden he's much more likely to put that fastball right around where he wants it than he's been for a while.
Oh, there's no question he's improved his ability to command his fastball. Really all his pitches. I mean, when he's on, I mean, that's what you see. You see corner pitches, both sides of the plate. Rare that you see him make any mistake to location out over the middle of the strike zone. But for the last 5 or 6 starts, we've been seeing a lot of fastballs just sort of drift out over the middle. That's not like him.
Curveball in the dirt, 3-2 now.
Yeah, that was by design. He had a 2-2 pitch to play with. From Herrera's perspective, pretty good take right there.
Back into the second deck. Still 3-2. Dodgers still leading 9-6. They're in the top of the 7th in Denver now on the out-of-town scoreboard. And Arizona leading 8-0 over Miami in the top of the 6th in Phoenix. D-backs have hit 5 home runs in that game, taking out some of their frustration on the Marlins. That ball is smoked and just foul. That was not foul by much, and it's back into the water.
An impressive foul ball. He's a strong guy. Herrera is built like a running back. He's 5'11", 210. This is a 2-strike swing. I mean, it's way out in the pond. If he was raised in the States, he'd have been a football player.
It's from Venezuela. Left center field, deep. And caught by Gorky Hernandez after a long run. That was right into the gap. And Gorky's cutting in front of Mac Williamson. Got to it.
And he gets to it with a high backhander. The ball slicing away from him. High backhander, go into a slide, protect yourself. He's never off the ball. Puts it right in the sweet spot. Chris Stratton loved it.
I knew he'd get it.
That's my man.
Here is Santana. It was a very determined at bat by Herrera, but Stratton prevails. A strike called on the outside. Santana grounded out to short his first time. Crawford, the shortstop, is basically at the second base position now in the overshift. Santana having a very poor average. Into the defense in right field, and panic throws him out.
It is not easy to go from one league to another, just because you have to learn a whole bunch of new pitchers, and it has really affected Santana's average.
So Stratton, 2 down, nobody on, and here is Michael Franco. Flied out to right center, his first time, and the count is 0-1. Yeah, Santana with a very low batting average, now 214, but the silver lining, he's knocked in 33 runs. So he has been producing runs. Apparently been a lot of people to knock in for him. 33 batted in, and he leads the Phillies in that category.
Not many cleanup hitters hitting 216 1st of June.
The squibber. Panic throws him out. Strong inning for Stratton with a little help from Gorkys Hernandez on the drive hit by Herrera. Brandon Crawford, then Mac Williamson, and then Gorkys Hernandez coming up for the Giants. The 4th inning, and Brandon Crawford leads off against Nick Pivetta. He spins one up and away, ball 1. Crawford lined one to right center, caught by Cousins his first time. Hit it hard, 100 miles an hour off the bat, but into an out. They've got the overshift on for him. 3 infielders to the right of second. And a high pop up down the left field line, and it's falling, and it's in there. And it ricochets off Williams, who made the dive for it. Williams somehow seemed unsure. He thought that Michael Franco was going to go get it. And instead of taking charge on the ball, he belatedly came in, and it ended up falling in. And Crawford is at second with a double.
Well, you see the shift, and this is the problem with the shift. I mean, this becomes a one-man show, and Franco looking for some help, and there's no way that they can come in and cover that much ground. Nick Williams just cannot get there. It looks like it winds up hitting him on the left leg. He completely whiffs his glove. So the shift giveth and the shift taketh away, and that time it gaveth.
Mac Williamson, ball 1. Williamson walked to lead off the second and scored a run. That's the 26th opposite field a hit for Crawford this year, second most in the league.
Goes under the Texas Leaguer category.
A mighty cut, but he didn't get it. And most of those hits were not just kind of pop-ups that found a safe haven out there, but he'll take it. He hit one real hard his first time and made it out. That's a foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gorky Hernandez on deck. Williamson hitting .286 in the big leagues. And he protects on that one.
Yeah, good pitch, good fight him off right there. You've got to have a fight him off swing where you can just stay alive to see another pitch.
Crawford will go to third. Hernandez, he was looking over there. He wanted to see if he could make a play on Crawford, but ultimately he went ahead and got the out at first. So Williamson moves Crawford over. One away.
Well, the productive out is really a great at bat. A 2-strike hole, and you fight off some fuzz to put the ball in play and get the guy over. Now Gorky Hernandez has to capitalize on that effort.
The infield comes in. Gorky's been a while between hits for him. Back to the screen. It's 0-1.
He had a hanging breaking ball right there. That's one he would like to have back. You're looking for something up. You're looking for something above the belt just that you can get into the outfield deep enough to score a run. As we mentioned, Nick Williams, Odubel Herrera, the left fielder and center field combination, they've got really above average arms.
That moved him off the plate a little bit.
With Crawford's speed at third, you need at least a medium fly ball to score him.
Gorky's hitting .298 for the year. Pivetta to the plate. And the foul ball. He keeps swinging those curveballs. That was a little bit better than that first pitch curveball. That was hanging so high.
Well, his lower body was into that swing, and I think he was sitting soft. I don't think he was thinking fastball with the balance that he had in that swing. But now you got a scratch. Pivetta pitching for the strikeout.
And he fights it off. High hard one.
I mean, that last 2-pitch sequence, good hard breaking ball down below the zone. Then he comes back up top with 95 above the strike zone. That's a tough one to keep your top hand on. Tough not only to hit, tough to foul off.
Stratton, the pitcher, is on deck. And he lays off that one. 2-2. In the dirt, smothered by Knapp. A new ball put in play. Pivetta to Hernandez again with Crawford at third, 1 out. Again blocked by Knapp.
Steady diet of curveballs, and the fish ain't biting. I mean, that's exactly where Pivetta wants to throw that spike curveball.
All right, would he stay with that breaking ball again, or would he try to power the fastball by him?
Yeah, he's going to pitch for the strikeout here. I mean, he's got a pitcher on deck. This is the big one in his mind. I wouldn't be surprised to see anything, but it's going to be a good location.
Base hit to left field. That was another breaking ball. And Gorky Hernandez. And I think you called it, Mike, that he was up there looking for a pitch like that, and he finally got it, and he handled it.
Well, and Pivetta flattened it out. He dropped his arm angle down. And this thing, as it flattens out, I mean, he wanted to put that thing purposely in the strike zone. He didn't want to walk him. And there was Hernandez, a nice balanced swing, finds a hole with the drawn in infield. Another solid at bat with runner in scoring position for the Giants tonight.
And that breaks an 0 for 11 little dry spell for Gorky, his first hit since his second at bat Monday night in Denver. So that felt good on some different levels. Here is Stratton in a bunting situation. Hernandez dives safely back to the bag. Gorky has 3 steals this year and 4 tries. Giants with a run in the first, a run in the second, and now a run here in the fourth. Crawford led off the inning with a double. Here's the bunt. And Santana will tag him out coming up the line. And for the second straight time, Stratton bunts the runner over. That's his 5th sacrifice bunt this year. He leads the Giants staff by far in that category.
And again, perfect technique. All the extra hours that the Giants have been putting in to get the bunts down is starting to pay off. And it starts with technique.
Well, the last time he did it, he bunted Williamson over to second with 2 down. Panic came up and knocked Williamson in with a single to right. Now here's Panic trying to do it again. He's walked and scored a run and singled a homer run. His first game back from the disabled list. And the curveball catches the outside. 0-1.
A little wrap around the outside corner curveball.
And again, as they did in Philadelphia 3.5 weeks ago, they're making Pivetta work hard. This will be his 81st pitch of the game.
No, you're right. Giants have really done their homework in that regard. Ideally, at the end of the 4th inning, you want to be 60 or less. So you can get an idea as to how far over he is.
2-1 the count now. Gorkis Hernandez, who runs well at second base. Pivetta checks him. And he's on the inside corner at 96 miles an hour. Strike 2 called. Joe Panic hitting .275 so far this year. And a curve, and he lays off.
He gets so many strikeouts for Pivetta. That curveball in the dirt, especially against lefties. It's a big break, big tilt. Start that thing and try and purposely bounce it off a plate or just behind home plate between the plate and the catcher. He's got an open base here. He doesn't have to give into him.
Buster Posey is on deck, a right-handed hitter. Along the left field line, foul. Back into the crowd.
Again, just keep fighting out pitches, cranking up the pitch count.
So Joe Panic hanging tough here. This will be the 7th pitch of this trip to the plate that he's seen from Pivetta. Now Pivetta steps off the slab. Pivetta at 85 pitches now for the game. Still working in the 4th inning. The Giants ahead 3-0. And the walk.
Yeah, that's pretty good at bat for a guy who hasn't had a lot of at bats and just getting back into off of the DL and into playing.
He's been the ideal leadoff man tonight as the pitching coach for the Phillies. Rick Kranitz will head out to the mound now to visit with Pivetta, who's worked really hard, and the Phillies are going to get somebody cranking up in the bullpen now as they send Mark Leiter Jr., the son of a former Giant pitcher, down to the pen. Just brought back from the minor leagues this week. So this has been a long inning. He's thrown 22 pitches already in this inning. There's Gabe Kapler, the manager. This is the 3rd time through the batting order. Joe Panic is the leadoff man as Leiter starts to heat up in the bullpen. And Joe Panic, his job, get on base when he's been up 3 times and his 2 walks and a single.
Well, if you're sitting behind Leiter, be ready. Everybody is.
Buster Posey, a fastball right in there for a called strike. Buster has singled and grounded into a force play. And each time he swung at a tough pitch from Pivetta and hit a ball on the ground. One time he found a hole, though, setting up the Giants' first run. Look out, that hit it. .95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And he doesn't have a protective piece up there. I mean, he'll wear him once he gets hit, but I don't think he likes him. And this thing just was a heat seeker going right into his triceps, right there at the base above the elbow. Nothing funny about getting hit in the funny bone. It is not humorous.
So now McCutchen with the bases loaded and 2 down. 3 infielders swung to the left of second. Ooh.
Good swing. Good balance in that first pitch breaking ball. When a hitter like Posey gets hit by a pitch, I mean, it makes everybody hitting behind him a better hitter. It ratchets up the concentration level a couple notches.
Pitch number 90 thrown by Pivetta now. The breaking ball, and now he's ahead of him 0-2. McCutchen is grounded into a force out and flied out to right. Giants have Hernandez, who knocked in a run earlier in this inning, at third. Panic at second. Posey at first. Leading 3-0, but a chance to open it up a little bit here. 2 strikes to count. A check swing, and he got it. And then the foot race. Pivetta gets the unassisted put out. Didn't mean for that to happen. 3-0 Giants. Entertainment at home and on the go. Xfinity, the future of awesome. Center field, Steven Duggar. His last 16 games with Sacramento in the Coast League is hitting .338 with a .375 on base percentage. Last night playing in El Paso against the epic Chihuahuas. 4 for 5 with a triple and 3 doubles. That's a pretty good game for a leadoff speed burner.
This is his best day of the year.
He's 24 years old, and he's a fast guy. We saw him a lot in spring training.
El Paso, good place to hit.
Base hit to right for Nick Williams, leading it off here in the 5th inning against Chris Stratton. We're going to check in now with our colleague, Amy Gutierrez. Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, I just got word that Brandon Belt exited tonight's game with a stomach illness, not feeling well. Gentlemen?
under the weather.
Well, that's when it's nice to have a guy like Pablo Sandoval come in there and fill in for you, because not only does he bring a good bat into the game, but he also brings a good glove.
Here's Andrew Knapp, the catcher, grounded out to second his first time, and the count is 0-1. Only the third hit of the game for the Phillies against Stratton. Well, Amy G got us the report from the clubhouse. Many thanks. I always, a story comes up like that. I always remember that Ernie Harwell used to work with Red Barber before Vin Scully was hired, way back when. And at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, they had a public address announcer named Tex Rickard. Had a real thick Brooklyn kind of an accent. And they say to Tex one day, says, listen, when a guy leaves the game, if there's some reason that he left, we'll get that info to you and you announce it to the crowd. It'll be like a service to the crowd. So Dolph Camilli, San Franciscan, had the flu. He wasn't doing too well. They sent him the note. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. For Brooklyn, Dolph Camilli had to leave the game 'cause he don't feel good. Thank yous. So Amy G, she was kind of doing the Tex Rickard thing there, except she didn't put it quite the same way. She put it a little more elegantly. Maybe next time she'll give us one of those, he don't feel good.
He don't feel so good.
1-2 the count to Andrew Knapp. Dylan Cousins, the big young slugger, is on deck. Three 0 Giants. We're in the fifth. Crawford well over toward the middle, not in the overshift though. The changeup. Buster Posey handles it. Keeps it in front of him. 2-2. Stratton ready to work. And it goes to 3-2 now.
Well, this becomes a big pitch. Stratton's got a 3-0 lead. Leadoff hitter at first, nobody out. You got a 3-2 count. This is a time where you have to make Knapp swing the bat. Now, he steps in that box hitting a $167. You have to take advantage of that. Put the pressure on him.
And back to the bag is Williams, who led off the inning with a single. Getting close to the pitcher's spot. Cousins on deck, and then the pitchers after that. The bullpen is going to get busy for the Phillies. Struck him out with the fastball. One away.
And how good has Stratton been when he needs to make a pitch with a fastball as to still putting it on the corner? Another example of it. That's a quality 3-2 pitch. And this is something that he's not been consistently able to do these last 6-7 starts. But his rhythm tonight has been fantastic.
So one away. Here is Dylan Cousins. 6 feet 6 inches tall. Second round draft choice out of high school. Went to high school in the Scottsdale area. The Giants have spring training.
He strikes out a lot. 168 at bats this year at AAA. He struck out 75 times. He is a swing and miss guy, but when he connects, he can hit it forever.
Another save by Buster Posey.
Watching Cousins' batting practice today, he was just flipping balls out into the McCovey Cove.
It's 2 years ago. He hit 40 home runs in Double-A ball and hit 28 last year, but his strikeout totals were close to 200 strikeouts in each stop. That's foul. Well foul off the left field line and well down the left field line. 2-1. Only 24 years old. He is quite a specimen. And apparently he runs pretty well. He had 7 stolen bases in the minor leagues this year. just by Pablo. Pablo got close to it because he's holding against the runner there. You see the Phillies bullpen where Leiter is up again, the right-hander.
Cousins' minor league career, just around 2,500 at bats, 800 strikeouts.
So that in his minor league career, he has struck out in a third of his official at bats. And the curveball is off the inside, 3-2. .50 games in AAA this year with Lehigh Valley, 226 average, 10 home runs, and the 25 batted in. But as you said, in those 50 games, 75 strikeouts. 3-2. Struck him out looking.
That's the first time for a payout pitch he's come with that curveball. And for Cousins, who didn't really know Stratton, I mean, that's the price you pay when you don't know a pitcher. You can get surprised at a 2-strike count. You can't even get off a swing. Nice pitch.
Now, instead of the pitcher, Pivetta, Mitch Walding comes up. Walding just up from the minor leagues. He's 0 for 4. He played in one game in LA. Takes a strike with a fastball. Walding is from Lodi, not far from here. Went to high school in nearby Stockton at St. Mary's High School. He was a 5th-round draft choice for the Phillies 7 years ago. He's been making his way through their farm system ever since. And that's a foul out of play off to the left.
Well, he's another guy who's a high strikeout total guy, but he's got lots of power. And the Phillies tell these guys, don't worry about the strikeouts. Just go up there and try and do damage.
Got a lot of walks. He was 3rd in the International League in drawing walks at the time that he was brought up. Had a .271 average, 7 home runs. And back to the bag, Nick Williams, who led off the inning with a single. He's a third baseman. Mitch Walding. He hit 25 home runs last year in AA. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6 feet 3 inches tall. Doesn't every manager want to have a guy with power who plays third base and bats left-handed?
Yeah.
And that's what he is. And the curveball puts him away. So after the leadoff single, he strikes out 3 in a row and has 6 strikeouts in 5 innings. Pablo coming up. Stretch bobblehead presented by Chevron. Celebrate the start of summer as the Giants take on the Phillies all through this weekend. 7:05 tomorrow, the 1:05 start on Sunday. Tickets always available at sfgiants.com. 3-0 Giants as we are in the shadow of the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge, and in comes Mark Leiter for the Phillies bullpen, just back from the minor leagues. You see his numbers last year, which included a start against the Giants. Working out of the bullpen now, the son of Mark Leiter, a former Giant pitcher back in the 90s. Strike one to Pablo.
Well, the point you make about Leiter being a starter, he's got the 4 pitches you would see from a starter: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Fastball right around low 90s.
Pablo went after that curve that dropped in the dirt. 0-2.
Figured he'd have pretty good breaking ball. His old man had a good breaking ball.
So where do you think he learned that curveball?
Well, I mean, either from his father or from his Uncle Al. The Leiter family, pretty good pedigree for pitching.
Right at the bag, Santana. And Sandoval is retired, 1 away.
Well, Giants baseball is brought to you by Great Clips. Great Clips want you to love your haircut. That's why they created Clip Notes, notes that tell them what you like. So you get your same great haircut every time. Anywhere, Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
Evan Longoria will come up now. Longoria, who knocked in the Giants' first run with a 2-out single in the first inning. Giants lead 3-0 here in the 5th. Longoria flied out to right center his next time. They've got the overshift on against him in the infield. Ball 1. His Uncle Al, and he had a great arm. He threw hard, threw different pitches, but he was always sort of most famous for his cutter.
It was a good one. It was a really good one. Break some bats.
Broke a lot of bats, a lot of right-handed hitters' bats, and broke a few hearts.
They broke a lot of hearts.
And he always said that Dave Righetti had a lot to do with that, in developing that cutter or slider. Right along the third base line, knocked down by Franco, and Santana could not quite get to it. Longoria safe at first.
Interesting to see how they rule this. I mean, I would think it would have to be an error. Down to a backhand, and he got to it very quickly. And Santana just couldn't help him out. I want to see this play again. I want to see if he did, if Santana does catch the ball, do they get the out? And yes, they would have. So a break for the Giants, as indeed it has been ruled an error on Franco.
So here is Brandon Crawford now. Crawford started something in the 4th with a double. It's a high drive into deep left center. Odubel Herrera has room. Longoria was almost a second, so he'll turn around and go back to first. Crawford gave one a long ride. But into an out. So 2 down. Here is Mac Williamson, but still swinging the bat well.
You know, I think one of the keys to a guy having a great year is still getting hits when he's not completely locked in. And that's kind of how Mac Williamson has been since he's come back off of the concussion protocol. He's on the DL for a long time. And during that time, he could not practice his baseball skills. I mean, he was shut down. So what you lose, along with timing, is your ability to identify pitches in the strike zone. And it's important when you're trying to get that strike zone keen eye back that you still scratch out some hits to keep you in the lineup, and he's done that. And very slowly, he's starting to put together that confidence that we saw him have when he first showed up at Anaheim. And he excited everybody. I mean, taking time off of this game, it's just not beneficial. Being that it is a motor skill. You're playing at a very high level if you're a hitter and you're hitting off big league pitching every night. The old saying goes, you take a day off, not a problem. Take 2 days off, you know it. Take 3 days off, the folks in the stands know it. Well, imagine taking 2 weeks off.
Franco. And the Giants are down. 1 error, 1 man left. On to the 6th inning. Top of the order coming up. 3-0 Giants. Giants as we move on to the 6th inning. Chris Stratton. It's allowed 3 hits in 5 innings. Leadoff man Cesar Hernandez leads off in this inning, and he takes ball 1. He struck out looking in the first, walked in the third. Stratton 77 pitches through 5. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Hernandez, as always, making him throw a lot of pitches to him. 2-1 the countdown.
And he's pretty selective. He's got 38 walks on the year. That leads this Phillies team. I think that really jumps off the page when it's your leadoff hitter that leads your team in walks.
Fastball for a strike. 2-2. And he, I think, is pretty well unknown outside of Philadelphia. And he's become one of the top leadoff men in the league. Base hit left center. Williamson over to pick it up. So he's on base again. Now let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen. Well, you mentioned earlier in the game, Derek Rodriguez, his debut last Tuesday, May 29th against Colorado. He did a great job. He also recorded his first major league hit, an RBI double. Of course, his father, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, a Hall of Famer. Now, Derek told me today that his dad was so nervous for him to make his debut, but of course he called him immediately after the game. He said his dad was so proud and definitely had an influence in his ability to hit. No surprise there, Pudge, a 14-time All-Star. Gentlemen.
Derek Rodriguez, and Bruce Bochy said he was very impressed with him. He'll be starting here on Sunday in the final game of this series against Jake Arrieta. There's a bunt, and it's foul. It's time to see what's happening in the Giants bullpen with Nest Cam IQ, the sharper indoor security camera. With its built-in Google Assistant, you can ask it questions like, "Hey Google, who's number 13 on the San Francisco Giants?" Get yours at nest.com.
Well, that would be Will Smith.
Well, you're it?
Yeah.
It'll have the voice of Mike Kruger.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's a selling point.
I don't know. I don't think that would go over well in Los Angeles.
You'd have to get Vinny in L.A.
Vinny would work.
Kingery has singled and struck out. Deep into center field, but playable, and with a jump caught by Gorkis Hernandez. And when he saw him square up, Cesar Hernandez went back to tag up, and he moves up a base. There's some opportunistic base running there by Hernandez. One away.
Good instinct. Got back to the bag and recognized immediately that that ball was going to be deep enough. Once you see the momentum of the play taken outfield and backward, that's your cue to go.
So he's into scoring position. This is only the second time tonight that the Phillies have gotten a runner as far as second base. And Odubel Herrera, the big hitters are coming up now. The Giants have been leading since the first inning, but it's not a big lead, not against a team with a lot of power like the Phillies. So Odubel Herrera, who has grounded into a double play and lined out to left center, was a beautiful catch turned in by Gorkis to get him back in the fourth inning. So Herrera has been one of the top hitters in the league all year. 0 for 2 in the game. Third time through the lineup now for Stratton. And the curve in the dirt. Buster Posey.
Just are not biting on that curveball. Even when Stratton misses with that low curveball, then he finds himself at a 1-0 count. It still is an effective pitch because it sets up the fastball. And with the command that he's had with the fastball tonight, being pretty consistent to the corners, even missing the curveball has worked to his advantage.
Carlos Santana is on deck. He runs up as if to bunt. 2-0. So big pitch here against a tough hitter. 2 balls, no strikes. Switch hitting Santana on deck. Ooh, changed up on it. 84 miles an hour. 2-1.
And I think that hurt. Rare hat comes off. I mean, this is every bit of his body going into the swing, and he gets nothing but air. Way out in front of that beautiful changeup from Stratton. So, Rare impressed, yeah.
2 balls, 1 strike.
He had to take inventory after that swing. His pockets almost came out.
And he swung at that curveball and lost the helmet again.
That's back-to-back off-speed stuff. I know 1 straight with the 2-0 straight changeup, but that curveball is slow too. And it's got to be in a good location to be effective. And this is a beauty. Now he's set up every which way. Throw another changeup. He could go curveball in the dirt. He could go fastball above the hands. He really could go fastball at both sides of the plate. Anything that's out over the middle of the plate with a fastball is a mistake. But he's got options.
2 balls, 2 strikes with Hernandez at second, 1 out. 1 big hop to Longoria. 2 down.
Time now for our Audi control play. It's brought to you by Audi. 4th inning, Gorkis Hernandez sliding catch on a drive hit into the gap by Odubel Herrera. And Gorkis robs him from an extra base hit. That's our control play brought to you by Audi. Visit a Bay Area Audi dealer today and get behind the wheel of the Audi model you've always wanted.
So here's Carlos Santana, who leads the Phillies in RBIs. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice in this game. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Runner at second. Giants into the overshift. And a fastball, strike one.
The other thing too, since we've been talking about Stratton as to how he has fixed his motion, he has a much quicker pace than we've seen him have the last 6 or 7 starts. He's also got more life, more finish, more extra snap on the fastball.
Strike 2 call.
That changeup's been a good pitch for him this time through the lineup.
So that's a little something different the third time through.
Yeah, and I mean, he's locking him up. Just can't pull the trigger on it.
Two down, runner at second. High fastball, too high.
So hard stuff, soft stuff, hard stuff. And that's what he does. That's what we saw him do consistently early in the year. And tonight he's had the same type of rhythm we saw him have early in the year.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the dangerous Carlos Santana. He wore the Giants out in Philly. In fact, against Stratton, he had a single and a double and 3 RBIs in that Stratton start there. Slashed foul off the left field line.
Boy, and late. That's the 3rd fastball he's seen in this 4-pitch sequence. But that's the beauty of the changeup. Changeup stays in a guy's mind. It does not erase in the at bat. That's the only way you can explain it. After he's seen 3 fastballs and a 1-2 count, he's still late on it. It's because that changeup has just lingered.
The runner at second, Hernandez, ready to take off at the crack of the bat with 2 down. Very high. 2-2. And Santana's another guy. He gets a lot of walks. He's always been a high on base percentage guy, although not a high batting average guy. He's walked 34 times this year, so he's on pace for 100 walks. Giants outfield straight away for him, but the infield in the overshift. 3 infielders to the right of second. 2-2, and now the spin move towards second. Hernandez not going anywhere.
And that play was put on by Bruce Bochy. When you pull your 3rd baseman that far off the base, I mean, it kind of opens up a steal possibility.
Struck him out with the curveball, and that may be the most impressive inning yet for Stratton.
Great outing for Stratton. I think he's done for the night. He'll love this one.
West Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Looking back from the O'Doul Bridge at AT&T Park, a glittering jewel in the landscape here in San Francisco. And Gorky Hernandez bunting and popping out to the catcher, Knapp. So he beat one out just the other night in Denver, not this time. He's 1 for 3 in the game with an RBI, though. Chris Stratton due second in the inning, but Gregor Blanco is going to come up.
It's such a great feeling when you get your mechanics back and you do what you had done so often early in the season. And when you lose your mechanics, I mean, now you're on this search trying to find it. Well, he found it tonight, and there's the results. That's a good report card. 4 hits allowed, 1 walk, nobody got to third base, 7 strikeouts. Two people going to get good night's sleep because of that outing. Chris Stratton and pitching coach Kurt Young.
Giants have activity in their bullpen as Stratton is now out of the game. The foul tip, and the count is 0-2. It's the left-hander Tony Watson warming up for the 7th inning. 3-0 Giants. Giants with some timely hitting, getting a lot of base runners. Giants with 3 hits and 8 at-bats with runners in scoring position in this game. So it's been kind of a little ball performance, but a 3-0 lead. Timely hitting and some outstanding pitching. Pivetta, the starter for the Phillies, went 4 innings. That was the other side of it. The Giants, they lengthened him out over and over again. He threw 91 pitches in 4 innings.
Yeah, it must have felt like the entire night he threw out of the stretch.
Santana with lighter covering, and that is out number 2. So Blanco is gone as the pinch hitter, and leadoff man Joe Panik back off the disabled list. This last game, he was the designated hitter for the San Jose Giants last night, the game that Bumgarner pitched. And Alan Hansen played second base. So Alan Hansen is getting ready. He might be back in a very short order as well.
I think he had a home run last night.
So Panik has walked and scored a run, singled home a run, and he walked again his last time. He's been on base 3 times in a row as he takes ball 1.
Yeah, very impressive night.
One and 1 to Panik. 2 down, nobody on. Leiter has not allowed a hit. This is his first game in the big leagues this year. Deep into the hole. It's short. He'll just hold on to that one. It's a hit for Joe Panik. The shortstop Kingery was way over toward the middle, and Panik just kind of cued it to a spot where it was going to be impossible to retire him.
Well, a perfect night for Panik. 2 knocks, 2 walks, and that's a thing right there. So it gets Buster Posey up with a runner on, and Leiter's got to go out of the stretch. I always thought that was significant.
Strike 1 to Buster, who has singled, grounded into a force play, and been hit by a pitch. Buster's been on twice in 3 plate appearances. Off the inside a little bit, down around the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike to Buster. 3-0 Giants, 6th inning. For the Giants, this will become a bullpen game in the 7th after 6 shutout innings from Stratton, the starter. Popped up. Cesar Hernandez. And the Giants are retired. An infield hit for Panic. Now we go to the 7th. Watson will come in. Franco, Williams, Knapp, due up. 3-0 Giants.
Giants baseball tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with a pregame live at 6 p.m. Sunday afternoon, a 1 o'clock game for the final of this series and a pregame live at noon. You'll see it all on NBC Sports Bay Area. Tomorrow night, game 2 of this series, you're going to see Andrew Suarez on the hill for the Giants taking on right-hander Vince Velasquez. And then the finale on Sunday will be Derek Rodriguez taking on Jake Arrieta. Right now it's going to be Tony Watson coming in for his 25th time on the year. An outstanding first couple of months for the Giants. 27 strikeouts against 5 walks.
So Watson against Franco. And he changed up on him. It's 0-1. There's Gregor Blanco now in left field. After pinch hitting for Stratton, he stays in to play left. And Watson will be slotted in the number 7 spot of the order where Williamson had been. 1-1 the count. Nick Williams, a left-handed hitter, is on deck. Maikel Franco, very powerful right-handed hitter, has gone 0 for 2 tonight. Popped up, foul, and out of play. Franco has 8 home runs this year. He's got 32 batted in. Odubel Herrera 32 batted in. Santana 33 RBIs. Phillies have 3 different guys who are all on pace for between 95 and 100 RBIs.
There's that changeup. Such a great pitch for Tony Watson, especially to right-handers.
Phillies are without Rhys Hoskins right now, who might be a guy we'd see in this inning, but he's on the disabled list.
Well, Hoskins, in an at-bat in Los Angeles, took a swing, fouled the ball off, and the foul ball came up and hit him right in the chin. And I'd never seen it before. It broke his jaw. He came back the next day and he pinch hit, and in that at-bat he got buzzed.
Ooh.
Good changeup and a 3-2. Here is that injury to Rhys Hoskins. I I mean, right in the mouth. And that broke his jaw. I'll tell you one thing about Rhys Hoskins. I mean, he's a great player, but he could take a punch.
And he was back in the lineup the next day.
And he pinch hit and he got buzzed. Found out that the jaw was broken. They're not going to wire it. They say it just, soft food diet. And he's saying he's going to be back in 10 days. And as tough as he is, he might pull it off.
He would be eligible to come off the 10-day disabled list a week from tomorrow, the June 9th. He said, I'll be back June 9th. Nick Williams, who has one of the Phillies' 4 hits, a single, leading off the 5th inning. He struck out his first time, so he's 1 for 2. So this could be a spot where Rhys Hoskins might have come in as a pinch hitter for Nick Williams with the left-hander in there. Hoskins really burst upon the scene last year in the last 2 months of the season in a big way. He was one of the most impressive young players we saw last year. And he just hit so many home runs, and he didn't have that many at bats. He averaged about one homer every 10 at bats.
Well, it's got to be killing him too, not being able to play here.
He's from Sacramento.
He said his pass list tonight was going to be over 90.
And that foul ricocheted off Buster and over the screen, out of play. He had 18 homers in 170 at bats last year. Every 9.5 at bats he launched a homer. Out of Jesuit High School in Sacramento, then Cal State Sacramento. Two and two the count. Hoskins, 6 feet 4 inches tall, 25 years old. He had already hit 29 home runs in AAA when they brought him up to the big league. He had 47 homers in the 2 stops last year. 139 runs batted in. And that's all for Nick Williams. 2 straight strikeouts here for Watson. The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Giants are represented on this year's squad by voting at sfgiants.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game on July 17th. Is it in Washington this year?
Yes, it is.
This is where the Giants go 1 week from tonight. They'll be in Washington. And ball 1 to Andrew Knapp, the catcher. Switch hitter. Now he'll bat right-handed. He was 0 for 2 batting left-handed against Stratton.
Now there's a good candidate for the All-Star game, given that Brandon Crawford was the best player in all of baseball in the month of May.
That's a called strike at the knees.
I'd love to see it when a player really makes a case for himself to go to an All-Star game. It wouldn't be the first time for Crawford, but it's always a thrill when you get put on an All-Star team.
And Brandon Crawford. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down inning for Tony Watson. McCutchen, Sandoval, Longoria coming up.
Awareness Night. The Giants have hosted this for more than 10 years, and there you see Will Clark. He is a huge ambassador and advocate for autism awareness. He was a special guest on Triples Alley for a Q&A, and then on the field helps donate $20,000 to autism awareness organizations. There you see Jim Gott, gentlemen, the Phillies bullpen coach, along with his son Nicholas, Will Clark, his son Trey. Trey and Nicholas both are on the autistic spectrum. It was a very special night indeed. Autism awareness, gentlemen.
Amy, thank you. And Will Clark, who put so much into this night. And it was very touching to see it here at the ballpark. First ball swinging against the new pitcher, Hector Neris. And that ball is on the warning track. Nobody caught it. McCutcheon still going and is standing at third. A triple as Odubel Herrera and the left fielder, Nick Williams. And I don't know, you would think Odubel Herrera would have gone after that one. Maybe he lost it.
Well, as high as this thing was, and as long as it was in the air, he had plenty of time to get to it. Well, he overruns it. And the only way you do that is if you don't see it. And in the end, I mean, it wasn't even close. And if there's anybody in this Giants team that is owed a couple of hits like this, it's Andrew McCutcheon.
So Neris, who has been the Phillies closer.
McCutcheon see this thing drop and is like, hey. And a stand-up triple.
Pablo trying to knock him in. The infield is in all the way around. Pablo has struck out and grounded out to first.
See the numbers for Neris. Got good stuff. You're going to see a low to mid-90s fastball with a great split. Two-pitch guy, but with the strikeouts, 26 and 20 in the third innings. That's the split.
But for now, he is no longer the regular closer for the Phillies, although he leads the team in saves. He's given up 4 home runs in those 20 in the third innings. That will get McCutcheon home. And it bounces up and out of play. 4-0 Giants.
Well, and that's just a gift. A defensive miscue, and then a wild pitch that Andrew Knapp had none chance on. Ball comes up about 5 feet in front of home plate, hits Knapp full on in the face. I mean, you can't do much more than that as a catcher.
Pablo base hit. Cousins way over into right center, more center field than right to pick it up. I think Pablo, or any hitter in that spot, you come up with a guy at third, you get a hit, you should get credit for an RBI. He scored on a wild pitch, then you get a hit.
I mean, he would never say that, but I guarantee he's thinking it. Yep. Andrew McCutcheon, you were owed that. He's hit the ball at people so hard for these first couple of months of the season. Hey, there you go. We're into June. Things are starting to change for McCutcheon.
Well, June is historically when McCutcheon gets hot. Evan Longoria has singled home a run, flied out to right center, been safe in an error by the third baseman Franco, and he swung at that one. Four nothing Giants in the 7th inning. The Giants bullpen is busy after a 3-up, 3-down 7th inning from Tony Watson. Well, did he swing at that one?
Not this time.
Is that a changeup or is that a splitter?
That's a split.
Pretty nasty.
Oh, it's a good one. I mean, as you pointed out, I mean, he was the closer. Had some control problems, had some long ball problems. So now he's part of the committee that will close. I mean, he's not completely out of the picture, but I mean, he's struggling right now. His mechanics are a little out of whack. but his stuff is nasty.
Nice save there by Knapp. In the bullpen, number 49, Sam Dyson, a right-hander, getting ready for the 8th inning. There's a little flip-flop tonight. For a while, it's been Dyson's been the 7th inning guy, and Watson the 8th inning. Tonight, Bruce Bochy went a different way with Watson for the 7th. And now Dyson getting ready for the 8th. Another wild pitch. And you can see Neris looking so disgusted.
Well, he's looking disgusted. How does this guy feel? I mean, Andrew Knapp is being served up with some of the nastiest one-hoppers. This is Scud heaven right here, if you're a Scud fan. Hard to believe that a big league pitcher could miss the strike zone by that much. And the catcher's got no chance.
3-2 the count, and Longoria asks for timeout. Neris in relief of Leiter, who went 2 shutout innings, and he was pretty impressive. 1 hit allowed. And he struck him out. Longoria is 1 for 4 with an RBI. So 1 out, Pablo at second, and Brandon Crawford will come up. The Dodgers won their game in Colorado 11-8. Interesting game in that the Dodgers, it was a bullpen game. The starting pitcher for the Dodgers was a left-handed reliever, Scott Alexander. Here the Giants have a 4-0 lead with a runner at second and 1 out. Crawford has lined out to right center, doubled, and hit a deep fly ball to left center. And he takes a ball in the dirt. The 2 balls that he's really hit hard were both caught in the outfield. And then he hit a pop-up along the left field line in the 4th inning that was not caught, and he got a double on it. As Neris and the catcher Knapp talk it over.
Let's see if this catches skin from Knapp. Yeah, it gets him in the right hand. He is getting abused right now by Neris.
And a fastball on the outside. So maybe he told him, listen, you throw another ball in the dirt like you've been throwing, another scud, I'll have to call my next signal from the hospital. I can't handle it.
Well,
I can't handle it, I tell you.
That's a pretty good point, as you saw Ty Block start to get up in the Giants pen.
Base hit to left field. Pablo stopped to make sure nobody was going to catch it. So he goes to third. And Crawford with his second hit, another hit to the opposite field. That's his 27th base hit to the opposite field.
Well, and you know, he left May, had an off day coming into the first day of June, and tonight what's he done? He's had great at bats and he's had 2 hits. Still going the other way.
And the Phillies send a right-hander down to their bullpen now. A run is in against Neris. Runners at first and third, and with the pitcher due up, Austin Jackson comes out. There is Arano, Victor Arano, number 64, starting to warm up in the Phillies bullpen. 7th inning, the Giants leading 4-0. And they have runners at first and third. Pablo at third, Crawford at first. The infield is in, not double play depth with 1 out, in. And that's interesting. You would think that they'd be playing out and out for the double play to end the inning.
Well, it just tells your pitcher, I want you to pitch for the strikeout and strike out only. Now they may relax if he gets to another count. But right now, I mean, down 4-0. Phillies are saying we cannot let another run score. And so this is a bit of a gamble. From Austin Jackson's perspective, put the ball in play. Gabe Kapler, the manager for these Phils. That's a good split right there.
1-2.
I mean, Neris, he's going to show you the mid-90s fastball, but he wants to get you out with splits. And even though it started out above the belt, I mean, that thing was explosive with its downward bite at the end. Nasty pitch.
A ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and third, 1 out. And back with the fastball that kind of exploded up in the zone. Strike 3.
So he gets the strikeout he's pitching for.
Now Gorkis Hernandez as the infield drops back to normal depth. Austin Jackson came into the game hitting .252. That's the 48th time that he has struck out this year. Gorkis has struck out, singled home a run, and fouled out on a bunt try. And moving to second, Brandon Crawford. As soon as that ball hit the dirt, Brandon took off. So now 2 men in scoring position for Gorkis. A check swing and a foul. So quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Gorkis came up with a runner in scoring position back in the 4th inning. Crawford was at third with 1 out, and he singled him home with a very determined at bat against the starting pitcher Pivetta. He's quickly behind 0-2 here in the fastball, and he fights it off. Giants with single runs in the 1st inning, 2nd inning, 4th inning, and here in the 7th inning. And a 4-0 lead. Both Ty Blach, a left-hander, and the right-hander Sam Dyson warming up in the Giants bullpen. Another fastball. Another foul. Dodgers, by the way, placed Clayton Kershaw. He made his first start coming back to the disabled list yesterday. And then they sent him to be checked, and he was placed on the disabled list today. With a lower back strain. So he's back on the DL.
Yeah, again, it's the back. I mean, he's been plagued by that several times in his career. Big concern.
The splitter, and he took it.
That's a good one on an 0-2.
You see the players, and in many cases key players. The Dodgers have 4 starting pitchers: Rich Hill, Clayton Kershaw, Kenta Maeda, Hyunjin Ryu, and of course Julio Urias has not pitched at all this year. Rockies haven't had anybody on the DL, and he strikes him out. The Giants get just the 1 run. On to the 8th inning. 4-0 Giants.
game and the season on Giants Outsiders on NBC Sports Bay Area. After postgame live on every 7 p.m. night game broadcast on NBC Sports Area. Four 0 Giants as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Is going to be a pitching change. Sam Dyson takes the ball now for Bruce Bochy. 27th time he's come into a game. 2-0 with a 2.49 ERA. And he really has been pitching beautiful baseball. We talk about Dyson and we talk about the incredible shrinking ERA. At one point this year was in the 6s.
It's 0-1. Dylan Cousins leading it off here. He got his first major league hit and his first major league at bat, a single back in the 3rd inning. He struck out looking in the 5th.
Explosive sink at 93. 27th appearance for Dyson, and I bring that up simply because that leads the Giants in that regard.
Valentin is out on deck with the pitcher due up next. And he struck him out and he changed up on him with that one.
When you get a hitter so conscious of your sinker that you're not even thinking about other pitches, and that's basically what happens when you hit against Dyson. And he takes advantage of it with that changeup you're talking about. Gripped it the same way, and in the eye of the hitter, I mean, he saw the same type of spin, only the ball was about 8 feet short.
So here's the pitch hitter. Valentin. How do you pronounce that first name? Yes. On the run is Blanco, and that ball is back into the crowd. Strike one.
Yesmuel.
Jesmuel. From Puerto Rico, 33 days in the big leagues.
Hey, his old man was a heck of a player, Jose Valentin.
He was a good player. He was an infielder who had power, could bat left-handed.
Changeup is just filthy dirty. You know, you don't always have to have a 10-mile-an-hour variance between your fastball and your changeup to have a swing and miss changeup.
Well, that speed changeup, it kind of reminds me of Jason Schmidt.
Yeah, good point.
There it is again, and that's another strikeout.
I mean, that's 6 pitches, 2 strikeouts. And they're not getting, these aren't called pitches. I mean, these are swing and miss seas. Circle changeup. Gets Valentin way out front. There you see the circle change. You tuck that forefinger down and you form a circle between your thumb and your forefinger. And you throw off the weak part of your hand with that grip. Beautifully thrown.
In his last 20 games before tonight, he's had an earned run average of 0.95. And the opposing hitters have a batting average against him of 175 in that stretch. Two and 0. Sam Dyson. When the season started, it was just the opposite. He was giving up the long ball. He was getting hit and getting hit hard.
He was mechanically a mess, and they got him squared away. Matt Herges down the bullpen. They worked his mechanics. Once he found it, he took off.
Two down, nobody on. Cesar Hernandez, the leadoff man. He's been on base twice in 3 plate appearances. He struck out his first time. Since then, has walked and singled. 2 down, nobody on.
Oh. He's got it going tonight. I mean, he hadn't even thrown a breaking ball. You get so aware of this guy's sinker, you kind of forget that he can throw 4 or 5 different types of movement at you. Curveball, slider, cut fastball. And now tonight, the changeup, and he is riding the horse right now. The changeup horse.
2-2 the count. And a full count. I think this guy had a full count every single time he's batted. At least 3 times, I think, out of 4 plate appearances.
Well, he knows the strike zone well. You don't lead your team in walks as a leadoff hitter if you don't know that strike zone.
And he struck him out.
Another changeup. You cannot throw the fastball changeup combination better than what we just saw Sam Dyson do.
Changing 27 laws and policies while investigating more than $10 billion in public money. If you have a tip, contact NBC Bay Area at 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/we-investigate. NBCBayArea.com/we-investigate. NBC Bay Area, we change laws, we change lives, we investigate. AT&T Park, the Giants back home. Here is Victor Arano in to pitch for the Phillies with the Giants leading 4-0 last of the 8th inning.
Take a look at what Arano has done in 15 games. He's been very good. An ERA of 2.08, 19 strikeouts against 4 walks. You take your at-bats against Arano, I mean, you're going to see a fastball that goes low to mid-90s, curveball, slider, changeup, 4 pitches.
Blanco fouls one. Blanco entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning and grounded out to first. Arizona beat Miami tonight 9-1 in the desert, and the Dodgers beat Colorado in the Rocky Mountains 11-8. In the dirt. Ball and a strike to Blanco. Giants with single runs in the 1st inning, 2nd inning, 4th inning, and 7th inning. As Hunter Strickland heats up in the bullpen. The Phillies will have the 2, 3, and 4 spots in their batting order due up in the 9th. 1-2.
Good hard breaking ball. A lot of power arms coming out of that Phillies bullpen.
And when you start a game against the Phillies, you're facing power arms day after day.
That's true. Young, the power arms.
Tomorrow night, Vince Velasquez. He brings it. Of course, Jake Arrieta, the veteran. Arrieta has a 2.16 earned run average this year. His first year as a Philly. He goes Sunday afternoon. And 96 miles an hour. He was kind of saving that one. And they blew it right by him. So here comes Joe Panik. Panik, his first game back, has come to the plate 4 times and has reached base all 4. 2 singles and 2 walks. His last hit was an infield hit in the 6th inning. He's scored a run and he's knocked in a run. And has lifted his major league batting average up to 283. Arizona will be here starting Monday. Ty Block is up along with Strickland in the bullpen now. 0-2 the count to Panik.
Good hard back foot slider. We haven't seen anything that has come out of the hand of Arano that has not been quality.
Arano now with 20 strikeouts in 17 2/3 innings. Staying with that slider. He's had 20 strikeouts and only walked 4. Hasn't hit anybody. His numbers are really good. 2.08 earned run average, as you pointed out. No home runs allowed. Well, the Phillies have been rebuilding for a while, and the fruits of their labor starting to show at the big league level. And we saw some of it last year, especially late in the season.
Well, they've been very patient, but very consistent as to how they want to build their staff, both in the bullpen and in the rotation. Power. Not a lot of finesse on this staff.
Cesar Hernandez. And for the first time, Joe Panik is retired. So 2 down, and Buster Posey will come up. The Giants leading 4-0 here in the 8th inning.
And that's the one thing, if you look up and down this entire Phillies team, they're physical. You look at their players, and just about, I think 10 out of the 13 guys have plus arms. That's the most we've seen from a collective group all year.
Buster Posey 1 for 4. His single in the 1st inning was not hit real hard, but it just made it through the left side of the infield, and it helped set up the Giants' first run of the game, which Longoria knocked in. Buster hitting an even 300. High and foul and out of play off to the right. Giants, when Buster got his hit in the 1st inning, at that moment they had 4 300 hitters in the game, although Brandon Belt was one of them, and after 1 at bat he left the game with stomach problems.
Second time they've really come in hard, high and tight to Posey. The other time he got hit. You can see he's got the protective piece on his elbow where he got hit earlier in the game. That did not feel good. Something got tweaked there in that swing.
Well, Buster had the, what was it, the hip that bothered him. He missed a couple of games on the road trip
In Chicago.
He missed the last 2 games in Chicago. And he chased. Strike 3. Impressive inning for Arano. 4-0 Giants with Kingery, Herrera, Santana coming up. tomorrow night at 7 with pregame live beginning at 6. And we'll be back with you on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network in 2 weeks, Friday, June 15th at 7, as the Giants and Dodgers renew the rivalry at Dodger Stadium 2 weeks from tonight. That'll be on the next road trip. The Giants going on yet another long road trip, 3-city road trip to Washington, to Miami, and then cross country to LA. So here is Hunter Strickland, and Scott Kingery, the rookie shortstop, leads off. He is 1 for 3 in the game. And that's a called strike. Sam Dyson had a perfect inning, and I mean a perfect inning. He faced 3 hitters and struck them all out.
Giants bullpen, I mean, not many teams can brag that they've got 5 closers on their staff. That has really become a strength with this Giants team. I mean, they have been durable. They have been consistent.
Odubel Herrera on deck, and then Carlos Santana. Fastball, he blew it right by him. 96 miles an hour. He got the save, his 11th in the final game of the road trip in Colorado. That was Wednesday night, night before last.
Well, and his split finger fastball was really a good pitch for him. It's becoming really a nice weapon.
A roller, panic in a hurry, and not in time.
I don't know how much more Joe Panik could have done. I mean, with the speed of Kingery and no backswing, he gets out of the box as quick as he could possibly get out. Giants are looking at this. Panik just, man, that's not even close. They won't contest that.
Very clearly seen right there. Here is Odubel Herrera, who is 0 for 3.
I didn't get a speed from Kingery down to first, but I'll bet it's close to being under 4 seconds.
Oh, ripped. Fair ball. Kingery to third and holding on a double by Odubel Herrera, his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 4 now. First extra base hit for the Phillies in this game.
Fastball challenge right over the plate. When Herrera lifts that foot up, it looks like that foot's right over the strike zone. Gets it down and he's looking gas, gets it, puts a charge into it. That ball was scalded. 108 mile an hour exit velocity.
That's a hard hit ball. So here is Carlos Santana, the Phillies RBI leader. A couple of RBIs out there to be harvested here. He has grounded out twice and struck out once. All of that was against the starting pitcher, Chris Stratton. 3 infielders to the right of second. And 97 miles an hour, 0-1.
Kind of an odd swing. It looked to me like he didn't have a lot of balance. I mean, got to believe he's up there looking for the fastball.
One and one now. Santana, he was one of the big free agent acquisitions for the Phillies in the offseason. Always has hit with power, always with the high on base average. And there's his splitter.
That's the split we're talking about. That is the pitch that he's been encouraged to throw, and now he believes it. He's had so many of these swings and misses off a two-seam grip.
And that is all for Santana.
He kind of dragged it through the garden. Got the first strike with a fastball, the second with a split, and the third one with his breaking ball.
Well, that was impressive. against a tough RBI guy who could have gotten an RBI just hitting the ground ball somewhere.
Perfect location. You have a 1-2 advantage. That's where you want to throw that breaking ball.
Maikel Franco is flied out, grounded out, and struck out. Strike one called. Kingery, who got an infield hit at third. Herrera, who doubled at second. Infield back, normal depth. And a fastball, strike two called.
2 pitches and 2 times Franco has guessed wrong. Look a breaking ball first, or fastball first pitch. Look a breaking ball second pitch.
Right back to Strickland. And he looked that runner back at third before throwing out. Franco 2 down. What was it? Sharply, and a pretty good quick reaction play there by Strickland.
Well, it helps when you get a comeback that's above the belt on your glove hand side. I mean, that's when you're going to make all your best plays. Now watch how this thing comes up to a one hopper. Yeah. Check the runner and throw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball to Pablo Sandoval at first base.
So 2 down, and here is Nick Williams. Ball 1. They had second and third, nobody out, but a strikeout of Santana, the cleanup hitter, and then a comebacker, Franco, another power hitter and a big RBI man. And now he's 1 out away from wrapping it up. The Giants ahead 4-0, 9th inning. Going back, Hernandez, but he has plenty of room for this one. And the Giants have taken game 1 of the series. Not a save. You cannot pitch yourself into a save situation, but it certainly became a save kind of a situation early on in his inning for Hunter Strickland. And as they pose as usual for the win out there in the outfield for fun and the photos, a nice game for the Giants, sort of a Giants kind of a game.
Well, and I think the big thing that comes out of this ball game is they get Chris Stratton back. I mean, he was fantastic tonight. The best command he's had with the fastball, changeup combination, the whole package was fantastic.
The Giants with a win here at AT&T Park to start the homestand, and they move to within 3 games of first in the West. We'll have more after this.